Okay, hi everybody. Change in location, because change in modus operandi. Doing something new here. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So, look at this. I'm about to put stuff on here. I have been recently extremely intrigued by the phenomenon that is BookTok. BookTok is a portmanteau of book and TikTok, which is the platform that most of us probably have on our phones and spend a lot of time on. On an average day, I think I would spend maybe like 30 minutes on TikTok. I mean, most people I know spend a lot more time on TikTok. I just don't, because I'd be like reading and stuff. I don't really know. TikTok's very, very popular. Moral of the story. BookTok is basically the hashtag that surrounds books on TikTok. And when I checked it the first time, 4.4 billion views. Tried to film this video like last week, 6 billion views. Now probably way more. Just let me go. Oh, a Bitcoin trader just followed me. Don't do that.
If you're black, I need you to stop scrolling and listen to this video. What I currently
Hashtag 11 billion views. Wow, like that's exponential. I'm gonna be putting what we're doing up on the wall while I talk so I can kill time. BookTok is very lucrative and it's actually been helping with a lot of sales of books. Books have become cool again. And that's exciting. Can you see that? Is that even good? No. Books have become popular for younger people again. And that's really exciting because obviously I love to read. And it really excites me when my friends started texting me for book recommendations because of something they saw on BookTok. Or they say, oh, you know, I saw this book on TikTok. Is it worth reading? And it's like, that's just so exciting because like I wanted them to read for a long time and now they finally are because they found something that they'll enjoy. Like a lot of times people don't like to read because they're forced to read something that they don't enjoy, like classic literature in high school. And so the fact that BookTok exists and is giving people recommendations that they'll actually enjoy, I'm all for it. I'm really not anti-BookTok. A lot of people are for some reason. I don't really know. But I stand. I'm here for it. I love it. So it's just a very interesting phenomenon. And I actually did a poll on my community tab about a week ago when I first filmed this video and failed, where I asked you friends how many of you guys have actually gotten a recommendation from BookTok. And I'm gonna check the results. When I first posted it, it was like 47% said yes, but it's been a lot of time for my people to answer it if they felt like it. So let's check. 78% have gotten a recommendation from a BookTok and 22% have not, and that's 90 votes. I go to Barnes & Noble a lot, okay? I just spend a lot of my time in there. I don't understand the value of $1. I noticed they have a section in the front of the store on like a table in my local Barnes & Noble, I'm sure it's in most of them, where it says like recommended from hashtag BookTok. So they have the popular books from BookTok in the front of the store, and I think that is just amazing branding because kids and teens and adults who don't really enjoy reading as much and kind of want to get into it just from, you know, recommendation they saw on TikTok, they're not going to want to travel through a library or a bookstore to find it. It's right there with a bunch of other recommendations. Perfect. Like, I love that. So I'm putting these things up. These are categories, and I'm going to rank some of the most popular books I've seen through the BookTok hashtag because I've read a good amount of them and I plan to read a good amount of them, and I know I don't want to read a good amount of them. So here's what we're gonna do. First of all, I need to make sure that you can see it so this makes sense. So these are the books. I cut them out. They're little, they're precious. Something also that I really like about BookTok is that they also not only do book recommendations, but they do games, they do ships, they do tropes. It's just a fun little book universe, and I really enjoy that. I just got some recommendations based on my zodiac sign. I'm a Libra. It shows. We're tier ranking, so there's 3 tiers because I was too lazy to come up with other ones. So we've got the Charlie tier after our very own queen of TikTok. She's got like 120 million followers or something like that. So if you're in the Charlie tier, you're superior on TikTok and in my heart. I don't really know much about Charles. I'm sure she's a great girl. I don't know. Fair Enough is, I've read it and I think it's good. I don't really care, but you know, I'm not objecting. And Don't Lie to Strangers. Don't Lie to Strangers. Don't make people read that book. It's not good. This one says I'm intrigued. These are for the books that I have not read yet, but I'll actually read it. And no is I've not read it and I'm not going to read it. Don't recommend it to me. So our first contestant is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. Now, I read this middle of last year, loved it. Definitely gave it 5 stars. I think it's great. It is a Patroclus and Achilles kind of retelling, kind of just telling of the Trojan War, kind of a romance, very tragic. It's not a spoiler, the Trojan War has been retold like 50 million times. I'm gonna put that in the Charlie tier because so true, BookTok. You're doing a good one there. That's very true. The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. So I'm gonna put this in the I'm intrigued category because I haven't read it yet, but I wouldn't say that I'm not going to read it. It's not on my TBR, but it's not, you feel? Liked Daisy Jones and the Six. I thought it was kind of long, but I enjoyed it, and I know that Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo follows the same like fictional memoir format, so can't say no. I'm gonna put that in the Charlie category because I actually read it. I was a kid. I was like middle school maybe, and I read it and I really liked it because of the plot twist. I was not expecting that. Definitely took me for a tailspin. But it's a very good book, and I think it's a very good introduction to YA. Because it's not too hard to read, it's not too long, and I liked the characters and the development. Something about E. Lockhart. So We Were Liars, again, is not like a new book, and she was very confused when We Were Liars hit the charts again, as was Madeline Miller, because Song of Achilles isn't really a new book, and so they were like, why are books getting so popular? And it's because of BookTok. So it's also something that's very interesting about the platform, because it's giving books like a second wind. The power of social media and using it for good, in my opinion. So yeah, you can use it in a bunch of different ways, and I don't know. Definitely heard something. A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I'm not doing that. It's going in the no category. I really don't want to read it. I've heard weird things about Sarah J. Maas to start off with, and also those books are dictionaries. Like, they're huge. And I'm just telling you right now, like, I'm not gonna read it. Like, you might force me into an audiobook for a video, but like, I can't read it on my own. Like, I don't care enough. Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. Okay. So, alright. So, Punk 57, yeah. I'm gonna put this in the no category, but it's not like a hateful one. Like, I just don't really like reading those kinds of books. Like, I read Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover, read Shatter Me, I've read some other stuff in that kind of Penelope Douglas's writing, and I think I've read other stuff by Penelope Douglas, and I don't love it, and I just don't really think I would sit down and do it again. So, you know, nothing negative, no thanks. Next one is Girl Serpent Thorn, and this is by Melissa Bashardus. This I'm going to put in the, I'm going to put it in I'm Intrigued, because I have not read it yet, and I wouldn't say I wouldn't read it. I've heard that it's like an original fairy tale that's got elements of Sleeping Beauty and Rapunzel, and I've also heard that it's queer YA. I'm intrigued. I'm gonna support anything that I can see and that sheds visibility on it. Happy Pride Month. Next one is Circe by Madeline Miller. Yeah, that's going in the Charlie category. Hello. Oh god, this book busts. Alright, retelling again, or just telling of Circe and her happenings in the Trojan War. Circe is the nymph who, can't remember who her father is, but he sucks. Her whole family sucks, and she does something bad, and so she gets exiled to her island, and Aiaia, I think that's how you pronounce it, and it's just kind of her point of view during the Trojan War. So, like, you know, Odysseus and his peeps, and Jason and the Argonauts, and it's just so interesting to me because thinking about a female perspective during the Trojan War is really about to mess your head up because of how they treat women. Like, even when you read the Odyssey or the Aeneid or whatever, they treat women like currency, like property, and like cattle. And so hearing Circe talk about, you know, the atrocities that happen to the women around her, to her, and why she turns men into pigs is just so fascinating. And I'm just kind of obsessed with the fact that she just be on her island tending to her animals, growing her garden, vibing throughout centuries. Like, I just love it. I love this book a lot, and I fully recommend it to anyone who wants to read it. I'm a Percy Jackson kid. I love Greek mythology, so Song of Achilles and Circe, right up my alley. Bussin'. Ugh. Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. That's going in I'm Intrigued. That is Katie's favorite book. I love Katie, and so she got it for me, which was very sweet. Son of the President of the United States and the Prince of Wales, and they go from enemies to friends to lovers. Queer YA. Let's get into it. Next one is They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. I'm not gonna read this. I'm so sorry. I don't like tearjerker books. Don't even know if it's actually a tearjerker, but it's about two people who know that they're gonna die at the end of the day, so they spend their last day together. I'm really okay off that. Like, I'm not about to do that. Next one is The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. Okay, that's going in Charlie. It's about a girl named Stella, who is on this autism spectrum, and she wants to learn how to be in a relationship, and so she hires an escort named Michael, and they get into shenanigans. I don't know. You know, nothing's ever really as it seems. Sometimes you grow feelings for people you shouldn't. You know how it goes. But I love it. I love it so much. The visibility and the representation, not only because Michael is Asian, but Stella is autistic, and it's really written as them as people and not just their stereotypes, and I love that. I love that a lot. We Were Liars is actually going to go in, oh darn it, did I mess up this new bed? My mom's going to fight me. Liars is actually going to go in Fair Enough. Honestly, I don't think it's really, looking at the other books that are in the Charlie category, I don't know if she can sit next to Cersei. I don't know if she can sit next to her like that. You can't sit with us. That kind of thing, you feel. Shadow and Bone. You guys are going to hate me for this, but this is going in Don't Lie to Strangers. I don't dislike Shadow and Bone, but I wouldn't put it in something where I'm like, you guys gotta read this, you know? Shadow and Bone didn't really give what the girl said it would. I just didn't really like it in the fantasy adventure category. To me, again, this is to me. I'm not saying... Well, I'm kind of saying don't read it. It looks bad. Like, it's not a bad book, okay? But if you asked me, Claire, would you recommend Shadow and Bone? No. Next book is Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. That's Schwab. That's also going in Don't Lie to Strangers because I hated that book. Addie LaRue is so unlike other girls that she's gonna live forever. That's the book. That's the book. She makes a Faustian deal with the devil. Regrets it. That's the book. Our last book is Ace of Spades by Farida Abike Aimide. Let me talk about this book in literally every video I've made recently. That is going in I'm Intrigued because I am intrigued. In the Charlie Reign Supreme World Domination category, we've got Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller, Cersei by Madeline Miller, and The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. Yes, sir. In Fair Enough, we've got We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. And Don't Lie to Strangers, we've got Shadow and Bone and The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. In I'm Intrigued category, which means I have not read it yet, but I will. Thank you for the recommendation, BookTok. We've got Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston, Ace of Spades by Farida Abike Aimide, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and Girl Serpent Thorn by Melissa Bashard Dost. And in the no, keep that category, A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas, and They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. Now, these were only 13 books. So many books get recommended on BookTok every day, but this is just a list that I picked from a mix of Book Riot and Barnes & Noble. So yeah, I would say if you're a BookTok user, continue. I really like your guys' work over there. And if you're not a BookTok user, I actually would recommend just scrolling through it for a little bit because I honestly, while I was researching for this video, I thought I was going to do like an in-depth analysis. That didn't work. But I actually got a recommendation as I was trying to find sample videos. So, and I actually really liked the book. So, and let me know if you guys have found any other books on BookTok. These are just really, really popular ones that I keep seeing on videos. But if you see one or hear about one or want to read one that you've seen on BookTok, let me know. Let's talk about it. Let's all recommend each other books. So, bye guys. See you in the next one.